Ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀, ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé táwa yìí sẹ́. Ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀, ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé táwa yìí sẹ́. Ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dẹni gíga, ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dépò ọlá. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, lẹ́bà lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa. Ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dẹni gíga, ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dépò ọlá. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, lẹ́bà lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, lẹ́bà lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa.
Our products are organically sourced natural healthy foods from Nigeria, West Africa, sourced directly from the small local farmers. At Naturalike, we believe what you put in your body and on your body can dramatically impact your health and well-being. Boost your energy levels and satisfy your cravings with a healthy dose of natural sweetness from our products. We're excited to help lead African foods and products into the global health and wellness markets. Follow us on Instagram at Naturalike, on Facebook at Naturalike LLC, and YouTube at Naturalike TV. These organically sourced foods are available at our Amazon store, amazon.com/Naturalike. Email us at naturalikeproducts@gmail.com.
Peace, family. Jonathan Miller. I just saw your comment. We could do another show on that, but I've done shows on that topic before. In fact, I did a show a couple years ago, or even last year, on how Liberia is the greatest accomplishment of Black America. I did a show on that. How Liberia is the greatest accomplishment of Black America. But we could do a part 2. In fact, I'll probably do a part 2 tomorrow, and I'll see if Collagenesis can come on. But we've discussed that before. Why? Because it doesn't fit the narrative. That's my opinion. It doesn't fit the narrative. Our bones is buried here. We was on the plantation. We fought in every war since the American Revolution to, the Gulf War, Afghanistan. So it goes against that narrative. It goes against the narrative. You have freed Black slaves who decided to take their own destiny, in their own hands and leave and separate from America and build on their own without nothing from scratch. You have to understand, Liberia was a dumping ground. Even though they talk about the ACS and the American Colonization Society, it was a dumping ground. It was an absolute dumping ground. So it goes against the narrative of ADOS and FBA. That's why they don't speak on it. So everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Please hit that like button. Again, please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and subscribe. I'm going to keep saying that until, y'all hit that thumbs up button or whatever button it is these days. Have a couple of announcements before we get started. We are rolling to Nigeria. And today's topic is on Nigeria. We are rolling to Nigeria. That's going to be August 4th through the 13th. August 4th through the 13th. If you want to roll, we have a couple spots remaining. Please visit donfo.africa. Again, please visit donfo.africa to learn more. It is August 4th through the 13th. We would love to have you in Nigeria. We are going to have a great time, an awesome time. We're going to have so much fun in Nigeria for the Oshun Festival. So come and join us in Nigeria, August 4th through the 13th. Also, Benin Republic Voodoo Festival, January 3rd through 12th, Voodoo Festival in Benin Republic. So please visit Donfo, that's DANFO.Africa. Please visit Donfo, DANFO.Africa to learn more. to learn more. We will love to have you guys. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat. Oh, no, I don't want to put the link in the chat room just yet. Turn my camera back on. Don't want to put the link in the chat room just yet. Nigeria, the largest economy of the largest economy in the world of the Black race. Nigeria, projected to be in the next, I think it's like 40 years, 40 or 50 years, a top 5 economy, GDP on the planet. The #1 tech hub in Africa. And when I say the #1 tech hub in Africa, you have to understand, when you're dealing with Nigeria, you're dealing with indigenous control. So these tech companies in Nigeria, in fact, the app I use right now to send money, look up Flutterwave. Look up Flutterwave. There's an app I use called Send. You guys can see that. It's called Send. Not Send app, not the penguin, but an app called Send. Made by Flutterwave by indigenous Nigerians. The #1 tech hub. The #1 tech hub in Africa, and soon to be one of the top tech hubs on the planet, if not already. Nigeria. Yes, Nigeria has its problems. I'm not saying Nigeria is perfect. I am not saying Nigeria is perfect. I would be lying to you. No. Nigeria is beat Kenya. It used to be Kenya. I would say probably around 2014, 2015. You can have that argument with Kenya, but now it's Nigeria without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. Nigeria, which has the largest Black diaspora on the planet. There are Nigerians everywhere. I was told there's a saying, a proverb, that if you go somewhere on this planet and there's not an Igbo businessman there, if there's no Igbo businessman there, there's no money to be made there. Nigeria, the country, has the most Black billionaires on this planet. Some people say that Black America is the richest Black group on the planet. I disagree. It's Nigeria by far. I've been saying that's the first time I touched down in Nigeria. It's Nigeria by far, without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's Nigeria. So when we have these Black economic empowerment conversations and circulating our dollars and circulating the money within the community and taking that money to Africa and building and all that, we have to start including Nigeria in the conversation. In fact, I'm reading this book right here. This is a very good book. I need big, build, innovate, and grow. And that's another thing about Nigeria, the amount of ingenuity, the amount of ingenuity that's coming out of Nigeria lately. Again, Nigeria is not perfect. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. I know it's not perfect. Nigeria has its problems. I know But Nigeria is the future of the Black race. I've been saying that for years. You can disagree, but the numbers are there. You see what's going on in South Africa right now. Hell, you see what's going on in Kenya right now. And not to beat up on South Africa or Kenya, like I said, Nigeria is not perfect, but Nigeria is the future and is going to lead the way. Black Beauty says Lagos is flooded today. I know the bridge was flooded. But even with all these problems and inconveniences, guess who continues to go back to Nigeria? Black Beauty. Even with the issues with Nigeria is not perfect, guess who continues to go back to Nigeria? Black Beauty. But yeah, there was some heavy downpouring in Lagos today. But hey, Nigeria's not going anywhere. Nigeria's not going anywhere. I want to share this article with you guys. Give me a second. Here we go. Let me share this article with you guys. Give me a second. If we've read this article before. Let's see here. Goldman Sachs projects Nigeria to become world's fifth largest economy by 2075. Goldman Sachs has projected that Nigeria, the most populous African country, will become the fifth largest economy in the world by 2075. This translated to Nigeria overtaking the like of Germany, Russia, and Japan in 52 years. In the report on Monday, the American multinational investment bank and financial services company forecast that China will be the world's biggest economy with 57 trillion. India is expected to be the second with 52.5 trillion. The United States to be to be third with 51.5 trillion, and Indonesia to come fourth with 13.7 trillion. Nigeria with 13.1 trillion will be only country on the dark. Why do they use the term dark continent still? Among the top 15 as forecast by Goldman Sachs. The country is still faced with economic and security challenges that could mar its growth, by President Bola Tinubu's administration has vowed to address these issues to put Nigeria on the path to economic growth and development. Nigeria's gross domestic product GDP grew by 2.31% year on year in real terms in the first quarter of 2023. Honestly, it will be before that, 2075. Well, from my understanding, like in Lagos and Lekki, like, so we'll deal with Lekki. I heard, like, they said Lekki at one time was pretty much a swamp. Am I right? Am I right? They said Lekki used to be like a swamp. Guys, links in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. Please click on the link. If you want to call in after the conversation, please click on the link. Hey, these are what the experts are saying, who have more resources than us to make these predictions. This is what they're saying. This is what the experts are saying. It only makes sense. It's the most populous country in Africa. The link's in the chat room. If you want to call in, please click on the link. Please click on the link. If you want to call in, please click on the link. We will love to have you. Go ahead, gas them up.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, it's good to hear. It's good to hear. So yeah, you're of the opinion that based on those projections, Nigeria is a $13 trillion economy in the next 30 years.
I'm going off with the experts say, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I hope so. I hope so. It could be, but there are a lot of factors at play that could stifle that.
And that's what they said in the article.
Yeah, a lot of I don't know if you saw the recent attacks, coordinated attacks that occurred around the country. Just recently, today I was talking to some people in Lagos. There's massive flooding, and that's just the norm, especially in Lekki that you mentioned. That's just the norm whenever it rains. People got their those boots that go up to your fucking hips. You got to wear those boots that go up to your hips, and you need a Caterpillar truck to navigate Lekki when it really floods and rains heavily. So,
Okay.
yeah, no, I'll see. You said what?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying we'll see. I don't know. With the current policies in place, I don't see it being a $13 trillion economy. With the current policies in place, now if they do other policies, which you're not too much of a fan of because you're against the whole quote unquote socialist, communist perspective, but I always say those are traps that don't take us anywhere. They're ideological traps. What we should be focused on is power, but that's neither here nor there. So I think one of the things Nigeria has to do is Nigeria has to open up her ports across the country. So as of right now, I don't know have you ever imported anything into the country and had to clear your goods?
I am not.
Well, if you study the importing into Nigeria, all containers have to pass through Lagos. So you're in Georgia there. I believe Georgia has a port, right?
In Savannah.
Savannah, okay. I know. So if you don't want Savannah, you can go to is it Mississippi? You can go to Florida. There's ports there on the East Coast. New York has a small port, but it's mostly New Jersey. That's where most of the ports come into. Of course, Texas, and then California and Long Beach, where Brandon is at. So you can see the United States has multiple ports of entry in terms of shipping containers and things of that nature. But you would think that Nigeria would have enough common sense and Nigerians would say, hey, you know what? Let's open up the ports all across the southern region. That's from southwest to southeast and the south-south. Yet everything still flows through Lagos. And it has to pass through Lagos before it goes to those other regions. Now, the excuse they'll give you is that the ports aren't developed, it's this, it's that. But I always tell them, well, isn't it ironic during the slave genocide, those ports were functioning fine from the Bight of Biafra on, to the other places where they were carrying human cargo. But now
that's apples and oranges.
How is it apples and oranges?
Because I'm guessing the ports that are it's apples and oranges. It's apples and oranges.
How? Tell me. You can't just say it without explaining it.
I would say shipping human cargo versus shipping with products and products.
Yeah.
21st century is completely different.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is the will
because that same argument will be equivalent to the majority of slaves were shipped from Ouida in Benin. And have you been to Ouida before?
No.
Yeah. So, but now going into Benin, the majority of products are the biggest shipping yards are ports. It's in Cotonou. But if you go to Ouida, like it's just like it's not.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
nothing is built there to facilitate.
But the question is why not? But Dinas, listen, I get what you're saying, and I think you think
that example is a terrible.
What
I'm saying is putting human cargo on a wooden vessel and shipping them out is completely different from a
The,
huge tanker or cargo ship.
Dinus, slow down, slow down. Dinus, slow down. Listen, the point is, it's looking at, because to me, you're approaching it from a consequentialist or fatalistic perspective. I'm not telling you that it's the exact same procedures or process that you need to do that. What I'm saying is, when you look at, for example, a country like the Netherlands takes an approach where they say, listen, regardless of where the shipping is, we're going to conquer it. And so the approach, right, can be one in which, all right, well, if these ports are not functioning, which they're open, but they're just not utilized, how do we make them properly functioning? How do we properly utilize them? That's the real way to go forward. But if you take your approach, which is what the elites of Nigeria take, the consequentialist, fatalistic, well, hey, listen, we'll just use Lagos only, I think it's a backward approach. And so in order to grow the economy, all those ports have to be open and working, and they have to be structured. And if that means extra construction, whatever they have to do to get those ports up and running, that will actually reduce the population concentration you see in Lagos. So people will stay in their localities and import their goods. Then when you do that, I think the Nigerian government has to create a tax incentive to say, listen, whatever you're importing, you have a 10-year or 15-year window to import this, and then you have to reverse engineer it and start locally manufacturing it. So that way, we've given you time to make some money as you import these goods and you sell them, and you'll have population growth in those areas where people move back to. You have hotels, hospitality, all kind of things grow, and different industries grow in those places. But now, as you start forcing them to manufacture, because then you say, hey, we'll hit you with tariffs. In addition to that, Nigeria has to open up the rails so that way you can transport your goods. So you need high-speed rail, and you need a strong highway network. Right now, the coastal highway, that's a great thing that they're building from Calabar to Lagos. That's an excellent thing, but we need more of that. It can't just be from Calabar to Lagos only. We have to connect the north and the south. We have to connect the east and the west. If we can't do it by road, like I said, we have to use high-speed rail. So that way, Dinus, you can sit in, Osun State, order your goods from either your choice of, Lagos or Ogun, wherever you want, and you can ship your products. You put it on a high-speed rail, and it can get to your buyer in Kogi State. It can get to your buyer in Zamfara State, right? So that's something that has to be done. In addition to, as we modernize and we approach the new technologies, when you register your business in Nigeria, the tax structure has to be streamlined so that not only are individuals who are, salaried employees, not just government officials, but people who work in private enterprises, they're also getting their taxes. And the larger ones, they do that. But we're talking of the small businesses. They have to have their employees pay a tax. The market people have to have a structured tax to where, you're collecting some sort of tax revenue for them. And then this has to be transparent to show, hey, if the local government is collecting, for example, in your village area, if they're collecting taxes from the market women, the total amount that they collect is shown to the people. And the people can see what projects the local government is working on. They can even vote on it. Just the same way we have community boards and city council meetings in the United States, that can be done in Nigeria. So if they're implementing those three things, I'm going to repeat it again: high-speed rail, a strong tax system where it's so efficient so that when I register my company, if I'm a limited liability company, right away I'm going to pay my taxes. Limited by partnership shares, right away my taxes are structured. And then if they open up those ports and give them a 15-year window to import, but then force them to say, look, after 15 years, we're going to hit you with massive tariffs. So you need to start reverse engineering this and create a manufacturing base so that we can produce this locally. Now you're going to see a Nigeria that has strong intra-commercial activity. And that's when Nigeria can hit the $15 trillion mark. But with the current policies in place that they're doing, I don't know, man.
All right, so I'm on the Nigerian Port Authority page. So there's ports in Lagos, Tinkan Island, Rivers Port, Omniport, Delta Port, and Calabar Port. So you're saying Lagos is the only one that?
I'm saying that if you want to import right now, even if it goes to those other ports other than Tin Can and the Apapa Wharf, it has to pass Tin Can. So think about it like this: what's the cause of a heart attack? When your arteries are clogged up. So right now, if you look at it from a body perspective, the arteries of Nigeria's trade is clogged up because everything has to go through Lagos first before it goes to Port Harcourt, before it goes to Ane, before it goes to Calabar. I'm saying that needs to change, but that's political because the elites of Lagos and the political establishment in Lagos might not be too happy with the loss of revenue from the other, ports stepping up, their game and starting to receive more traffic. That will cause a problem. So the excuse they use is that those other ports aren't as efficient as Lagos. And my thing is, we should stop that excuse and say, look, whether it's efficient, let's find a way to make it efficient. So let's spend the money to make those other ports efficient. Now we open up the flow of traffic and the flow of goods into Nigeria. I'm telling you, it's going to be a game changer because you can sit right there in, Calabar and order your goods from China, from Brazil, from wherever you order, from Turkey, and they'll come straight to you. And you don't have to be sitting down in Lagos killing yourself. But that's what's happening right now. Everybody's just choked and concentrated in Lagos because Lagos is the center for commercial activity. So we need centers of commercial activity, but that's going to be a political fight. And I yield the mic.
Hey, intelligent investor, go ahead, unmute yourself.
All right. Thanks for having me on. Just to circle back to your topic, if Black empowerment can be talked about without, involving Nigeria. In a general sense, it would be nice to say that, but in reality, Nigeria is not even a factor when you talk about Black empowerment for a couple of reasons. Okay, Nigeria is so corrupt to the point that there is no chance of even talking about the empowerment of the Black people with that level of corruption. How can you empower people when the corruption is so bad that even a child that is born today is corrupt? So that's one. Two, the wealthy elite of Nigeria do not care about the general populace. They don't care about the poor. So if the people that have the money, and this is not isolated to Nigeria, so let me be fair about that, but it's worse in Nigeria than other countries, even in the state, right? I mean, we have people that have enough money to feed everybody every day, but they're not doing that, right? But in Nigeria, it's worse. Okay, so there is no Black empowerment with Nigeria involved because we have a mindset that cannot be changed. And I say that with 100%. And what I'm going to say right now is what I can say to the president one-on-one. I will tell him to his face. Okay, the situation in the country right now, the common man, the common woman cannot afford to eat. So what Black empowerment are we talking about? They cannot afford wage to live.
Investor, where are you from in Nigeria?
I'm from the South.
Okay.
So they can afford to eat.
Are you in Nigeria now? Where are you currently?
I'm outside the country right now.
Well, okay. And see, that's just not true. What you're saying is that the people on the ground can't eat.
I've been there.
It's not true.
Dinos, let me tell you. You can call anybody you want to ask. You can go on YouTube. You can search. I've been in and out of the country numerous times, and I'm telling you, if you like, you can believe me. You don't have to believe me, but I'm telling you the fact that 110%.
Investor, I think the issue I have is you have enough, not all, but some disgruntled Nigerian. When's the last time you've been to Nigeria?
Last year.
Okay, you have some disgruntled Nigerians who call in and have this doom and gloom. Oh, everybody's starving, and it's just like, come on, man. I
think there's a misunderstanding because there's two types of Nigerians. Okay, there's the elite, Okay, the elite are never suffering, and I'm always going to speak for the common man. I'm not going to speak for the
I tell
elite.
you right now, the common man is not starving in
The,
Nigeria.
why do you say that?
You just said they're not eating. That's not true.
No, when I say they're not eating,
Listen,
it's hard to eat.
even the homeless man is eating in Nigeria.
No, they're not eating. They're
Yes,
not.
they are.
No, they're not. They're not. If we're going to have an honest discussion, because this is why the problem can never get solved. If you
No,
sit in
but
there,
that's not.
no,
But
but if
that's
you
just not
no,
true.
Linus, if you sit in there and saying that everything is fine,
I didn't say
then
no. So I started off the show with everything's not perfect. I said Nigeria's not perfect at all. But
that's what that's what
this
I'm
idea that
alluding
people
to.
are starving is just not true. When I'm in
No,
Oshun State,
it is true. People are starving.
when I am in Oshun states, I am not seeing all these people starving.
Who are you hanging out with?
The regular people. You see my videos. I'm not with the
No,
elites. I'm on the streets on the ground.
no regular person is gonna come hang out with you, Dianas. Let's be
What are you
honest.
talking about? That's all I hang out with. What are you talking about?
No, the regular people.
Everything is recorded and documented. I'm on the ground.
No, the regular people you're
Let me
talking
tell
about.
intelligent investor. I catch the Donfo. I go to Ojota New Moto Park. I can catch let me finish. Let me finish. I can catch a private moto. I can catch a nice private AC car from Lagos to Oshun. I go to the moto park.
Okay, so what? Okay, let me ask you a question.
I'm not with regular people.
Let me ask you a question. What are you saying? Are you saying the people are fine?
I'm not saying everything is perfect. No,
I'm asking a specific question.
Let me finish. Let me
you're not answering my question, so that's why I'm repressing it.
Let me finish, and I had to bring somebody on. Let me finish.
Okay.
All right. Again, I'm not saying everything's perfect, but this idea that people are just starving is BS. And then you just said I'm not with regular people. Again, I go to Ojota Motor Park and I catch the Donfo, the local vehicle.
And that makes you with the regular people?
Yes, that's
No.
regular people get around in Nigeria, intelligent investor.
No. Just because you hang out with people that drive down,
do regular people get around?
They get around in different means of transportation. My point I'm trying to make,
that's equivalent to me saying here in America or in Atlanta, I catch the MARTA, I catch the public bus. And you say, no, those aren't the regular people. Are you serious?
No, you're not understanding me. What I'm trying to tell you is that because you meet people on downfall doesn't mean that you've met everybody.
But it's impossible to meet everybody. It doesn't work.
That's what I'm saying. The people that you meet on downfall.
I have somebody. I got somebody from Nigeria on. Ike.
Okay. What up?
Hey, what's up, Ike? Real quick, 5 minutes, Ike. So you do import export.
Yes, sir.
So can you explain the process as far as importing that not necessarily Lagos is the only port of entry that Port Harcourt is too, like what you were explaining to me?
No, but Dennis, I didn't say that. That's not what I said, Dennis.
Gassed them up. Yes, you did gas them up. Yes, you did.
Dennis, I said all the
Let Ike talk. Let Ike talk.
Well, but you're lying.
No,
you're lying.
I'm going to remove you. Go ahead, Ike.
Remove me, but don't lie.
Go ahead, Ike.
So Nigeria has 3 major seaports, right? The first one, the largest, is Apapa. The second is Tinkan. And the third is Port Harcourt on air. Of course, we got the Calabar port, but it's kind of like dysfunctional. It's not really, functioning. We also have the Warri port, and I think that's more for like the oil and gas, But just like I said, the 3 major ports, Apapa, Tinkan, and Port Harcourt. Now, Tinkan is more for those who want to bring in cars. Sometimes you have the roll out cars that don't come in containers. Most of them coming through Tinkan. Apapa is more of it's more of everything. It's more of the containers. And now for people who want to ship to the southern part of Nigeria, which is like the southeast, south, then you got to use Port Harcourt, which is the on-air port. So to answer your question, Dinas, I know you mentioned the Calabar. If you want to send anything to Calabar, you got to use the Port Harcourt on airport. It's closer. Because if you use the Apapa port, you have to truck it down. You have to truck the containers from Apapa straight down to Calabar, which is a long distance. But Port Harcourt is close to Calabar. So Lagos to Calabar, you're looking at like 12 hours, 10 to 12 hours by truck. But if you ship through Port Harcourt to Calabar, to truck it, it's about 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours.
Okay, so my question, Ike. So if I'm in Calabar, do I have to still ship from Lagos, get it cleared, then it goes to Port Harcourt, then to Calabar, or can it go directly to Port Harcourt?
You can go directly to Port Harcourt, but the challenge that most foreign shipping lines, most foreign shipping lines.
Tell him, thank you. Most foreign shipping lines, tell him.
Most foreign shipping lines prefer to go to Apapa port because they feel like there's more businesses or there's more importers.
Obviously, that's why I asked you, Dennis, have you ever shipped in Nigeria? Because I have.
But you didn't say that, gassed him up. Go ahead. Ike is the professional. Go ahead, Ike.
But definitely, if you want to ship to an airport, the shipping freight rates are higher than if you're shipping to Apapa. So in a way, the shipping lines control everything. They decide, it's like they control the market. A lot of Onitsha traders, in Onitsha, most times ship through Apapa, as well as Port Harcourt. So, but they prefer Apapa because the rates are cheaper for them than using Port Harcourt. But if they use Port Harcourt, although the rates are higher than Apapa, the trucking the containers is another challenge. The logistics on the road. It's cheaper for them to truck it from Port Harcourt to Onitsha than trucking it from Apapa down to Onitsha. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like eating your cake and not having it. So you have to give up something. So yeah.
Okay, so Ike, people who are when it comes to Nigeria, they're doom and gloom.
Okay.
What would be your response to people who just doom and gloom? People are starving and struggling, and the typical doom and gloom. What would be your thoughts, Ike, or your response?
I mean, Nigeria has different class of people. Most of the people you see on social media or whatever, it's two-sided. So you decide what side of the coin you want to be at or you want to be in. Of course, there are people who are living it up, who have privilege, and majority of Nigerians are poor. They're struggling. I'm not gonna lie, but there's a lot of people who are doing so well, and they choose not to come out. They choose not to talk on social media like that. So, you just have to know the right people and just immerse yourself in them.
Okay, but that's everywhere, right?
Everywhere, exactly. I live
but that's my thing. That's everywhere. That's everywhere.
Yeah. So it's like I'm here in Nigeria. You know my story. I lived in the US for 17 years, and came down to Nigeria. Family's business, which we're in the shipping, and our clients include United Nations. We work for United Nations, Total Energies. The big names, the flour mills of Nigeria, we handle their shipments. So I'm someone who is really grounded and still learning, how the logistics sector works in Nigeria. So, yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to add, Ike? Or I wanted to bring somebody on that actually ships, so that's why I called you.
So just tell anybody who has anything.
Yeah, but Dennis, I ship too. He's not the only one that ships.
Okay, well, hold on. Okay, so gas them up. Who are you? If you ship too, who are you? I know I can put his business out there. What's your business? Who are you?
I didn't tell you I'm in the shipping business. I said I shipped goods. I didn't say I'm in the shipping business, but I ship goods, and I told you that.
Okay. Go ahead, Ike.
That's good. But you ship goods, but like I said, if you have any need for anybody to handle your shipments anywhere in Nigeria, because our company, we are in Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Lagos. You can tell Diners to give you my contact. Import, export. If you're trying to export as well, Diners knows I export. So, yeah. I can assist anybody with with the logistics in Nigeria, in and out.
No.
Clearing of cars, personal consignments, anything. Yeah.
Gasma, what do you ship through? What do you ship, Gasma?
I ship my personal things. I'm not shipping for people. I'm not in the shipping business.
Well,
But
when you say personal things, what is that?
If I want to ship my car to my house in Nigeria, if I want to ship goods to Nigeria for my own personal consumption. So what I'm saying is, and I told you this, I said most of the time, as I just said, and he gave the reason, because the shipping lines prefer, it's cheaper for them. They want to go straight to Lagos and Tin Can Port or the Apapa Port. And I said this, and I said, so if I want to ship to other
ports. You said the only port, you said everything has to go through Lagos first. Those were your exact words.
I said, that's what I said. I said majority of the goods.
You said everything. You didn't say a majority.
Larry was in the chat. He said you were wrong.
Well, yeah, Larry, you and Larry, you guys are anti-Nigerian. You guys are, Nigeria, is on fire. So of course, Larry's a black brick. He's a black brick.
Yo, guys, do you realize like a lot of the United Nations, they use the Port Harcourt port, like they don't use Apapa port anymore, because there was a huge congestion going to Apapa port for 4 or 5 years or more. Apapa, the road to Apapa just got cleared up.
I told him this. He didn't, but Dynast, he has his.
You said everything has to be. You said everything has to be shipped to Lagos. That's what you said.
I said it's almost the equivalent of a heart attack. Why do you have a heart attack? Because there's no flow. And I said this. Everyone can play it back. It's there.
You're full of shit, dude. Come on, bro.
You have your agenda. You have your agenda. It's cool. It's there. Everybody can play it back.
Gas him up. Listen, I listened to what you said. I'm like, let me call somebody who's actually into logistics. And I brought him up. What you were saying just didn't make any sense. Because what you were saying just didn't make any sense.
Just like you think that people in Nigeria are enjoying, a dairy can of beans and a dairy can of rice have skyrocketed.
I didn't say that.
You said people are suffering.
But gas them up. Not everybody, though. Gas them up.
I said not everybody.
Listen, the guy you brought. Let me say something real quick. The guy you brought up is not a typical Nigerian. Okay, he's an elite.
No, he's not.
Okay.
Hold on. Stop.
So you bring in the
you are on my show. I'm gonna mute you. Please define typical Nigerian. Please define that. What is a typical Nigerian? I'm gonna unmute you.
Unmuted myself. Okay, a typical Nigerian does not come from a shipping family. Do you understand that? That's not a typical Nigerian.
Nigerian does.
You asked me to define. Let me define it for you. You asked me to define a typical Nigerian. A typical Nigerian does not come from a lineage of a shipping company. Do you understand that?
I know that. Nobody does.
So if you're going to run a platform, let me tell you, brother. Let me tell you. If you want to solve, if you want to contribute, let me stay now. You're not gonna let us talk. Then I don't know why you want to have this discussion if you're not gonna let us talk. I just told you a typical Nigerian. They don't come from a shipping family.
I know that, intelligent investor. Yeah, we don't have to.
So that's what I'm telling you. The guy that you're speaking to is not a typical Nigerian, but you won't listen to that.
What's a typical Nigerian? Go ahead.
I just told you, a typical Nigerian does not come from a shipping lineage.
Then what is a typical Nigerian?
A typical Nigerian, which is 98% of the people, are poor people. Do you understand that?
Man, come on, bro.
98%. Look it up. 98% of Nigerians are poor, with over almost close to 90% of illiteracy. Do you understand that? So you have to, you see, it's easy for you to come up here and laugh because you're from a shipping company, you have money. Most people don't. They live on a salary of 30,000 naira a month. They live on a salary of 60,000 naira a month. Just your transportation alone is more than that. Do you understand what's going on in the country? Or you think it's funny? It is not funny.
Nobody's laughing. Who's
you laughing? Are laughing, and it's not funny.
Well, you are funny.
Well, I tell you what, yo, to the dude talking, there's a lot of Nigerians just like me. Yes, I agree. There's a whole lot of poor Nigerians, people struggling. I know that. But personally, I also think that the people who are gonna change Nigerians are not the average struggling Nigerians. They are those. It's gonna be those who are, should I say, the elite. They have to be the ones to change Nigeria. To be honest, they got to create employment. They got to get into the manufacturing, exportation. So, I mean, we shouldn't kind of like create a separation between the elites and the non-elites. Everybody has their role to play. Everybody just has to help the country, in one way or the other. That's how I say it. So,
all right, go ahead, Ola.
Anyway,
go ahead, Ola.
Guys, nice talking to you all. Diners, great catching up with you. Okay, I gotta head out.
Okay, hey, I'll be in Nigeria next month, so we'll link up.
Yeah. Let me know, because I'm in Lagos, and
Okay.
I'm going to Port Harcourt. I'm going to Port Harcourt by the weekend, and I'll be back again. So just
Okay.
let me know when you're back.
Oh, hold on, Ola. Okay, yeah, I'll be in Lagos in next month, so yeah, we'll link up.
All right, hit me up.
Okay.
Take care of yourself.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Ola.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I mean, Dianist, I really like your program because of the way that they get all of us to, exchange ideas, talk, especially with the, African American, the Canadian people and all the people in diaspora. Well, whenever you bring up the topic of Nigerian, I am so sickened by all these, people that comes in and just act like Nigeria is a special place in the bottom of hell. I mean, things are not good. Things are not good, but they're not good anywhere. You know, things are not good in China. They're not good. They're not good in America. They're not good just about everywhere in the world. But you cannot say people are dying, dropping dead on the street. I mean, that is just. I mean, that's just. I mean, I don't know why those people, want to paint Nigeria in such a, bad, bad colors like that. I don't think it's fair. I know the government. I know they are in some great difficulties right now. But like that the other guy said, we all have our roles to play, and your role in that country, especially being in the state that we have, shouldn't be the one that you paint us bad every opportunity that you get. I don't care where you're from, north, south, west. No, people that make that that projection that we're gonna be the fifth largest economy by 2075, they're not stupid. They are in the business.
And hold on, that's what I'm saying. These people have the resources. That's
Yeah.
what they do. These are billion-dollar, damn near $1 trillion like hedge funds with assets. They're not stupid.
Yeah,
That's
they're
what
not.
we're trying to make.
They're in the business of making money, and there's no sentiment about it. They don't have to paint. I mean, if they say Nigeria is gonna be fifth economy in so years, it's not because they like us or they want something from us. It's just because they've done their research and they know where to put their money in a certain time, and they want you to follow. Because in that people putting their money in what they have projected, that's what make it work. But now, I mean, they've done you a favor, Goldman Sachs, whatever. They've done you a favor by coloring us good now. And then you, as a Nigerian, you will come out and say, no, 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 no. That cannot be. We cannot be that the fifth, good economy in 2075. We just have to be bad. I mean, what kind of mentality is that? Now, I mean, these people are not in the business of painting anywhere in Africa good. But they did this thing that they say 2075, you guys are gonna be this way, and you as a Nigerian, you come out of whatever hole you come out of and say no, 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 it cannot be. We cannot have that. I mean,
Bro, do you understand? Do you understand that Goldman Sachs has been wrong multiple times? That's first.
I don't care.
So let me say a couple of things. Then you can continue. Let me say a couple of things. You can continue.
Let Ola finish. Let Ola finish. I got to pass to Philip after that.
Okay.
Go to Ola.
Let me finish. You know what? I don't care how many times they have been wrong.
You don't care? You don't care how many times they've been wrong?
No.
Man.
And I want you to let me finish, because in this situation, it does not. It costs you nothing. It does not do anything to you. They are giving up good publicity, even if they are wrong, and you're still coming out of whatever you came from and saying these things. I mean, it just makes me want to. I don't even know.
Typical Nigerian will tell you, is it publicity that I will eat? Is it good publicity that I will eat? You don't know what you're talking about, bro.
Man,
Keep
sit
talking.
down. Go and sit down somewhere. Is it publicity that you hit? What are you even talking about?
Yeah. I've never heard this in Nigeria. I've never heard that in Nigeria. But it sounds good. I'm gonna use that. All right, let me pass to Philip. Go ahead, Philip. Unmute yourself, Philip.
Greetings, panel. Another good topic, Dinas. I just came up for a couple of ideas, brainstorming on this. And one of the things is, when you talk about economic empowerment and development, whether you're talking about Black America or you're talking about, in this case, Nigeria, there has to be a clear vision of what the final end product should be. And what I tend to hear, in research about this, is that everyone gets bogged down in the structure of Nigeria, meaning that the issues that came out of the development of Nigeria by the British to the various ethnic groups and how power is shared within the country. And so from my standpoint, one of the first things that has to be addressed is the legal component and how the country is structured. Specifically, what I'm talking about is in 1979, as I understand it, that Nigeria shifted from the British Westminster kind of parliamentary system to a more American-looking presidential system. And the problem that you have when you try to transplant the American system to a lot of other countries, including now the United States, is you need a big middle class in order for that presidential system to work, because that's the basis of oversight. So when many of the people come up, they're talking about the corruption and they're talking about the difficulty to do business. And in my view, in part, it's because of the system that they implemented that doesn't allow for the general population to have oversight over the system itself. And that's not solved by elections. It has to do with the structure of economics that's equally balanced throughout the population. So from my standpoint, the first thing that has to be addressed is coming up with a legal system that is transparent and streamlined towards business, but business that benefits the general population. And that's not what they have right now. I don't know if that what I was saying is confusing. Was I clear in saying, like, look, if you want an outcome like, say, a transition that Singapore made. Singapore was a corrupt port city-state that was run essentially by the British, and specifically a couple of British families. And what they did was they came up with a new system that put transparency and justice of its legal system at the forefront of administering business. And so that regained the population's confidence in the system to do the other reforms. Like I heard you guys go back and forth about whether the ports are all open or not open, or there's a preference for one port over another. And what it has sounded like is that there's a subtext of the people that are in control of the Port Authority are favoring one set of ports over another that throws the balance of commerce towards the Lagos area as opposed to the country as a whole. And if these, developments that everybody wants to see are going to happen, that has to be reformed. I'll just, because I said a lot there and I want to go further, but I don't want to not give other people a chance to respond to what I just said.
Let me just say a couple of things about what you just said.
Can I come in now?
I got to pass it to Jagoon, and Jagoon, I'll pass it after that. I'll pass it to Delroy. Go ahead, Jagoon.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Good evening, and again, a great show at present. It seems to me that there is not always a lot of balance in our commentary. We are talking from extremes, and indeed, Nigeria is an extreme country, a country of extremes. Having said that, I think the understanding of the poverty that is apparent in Nigeria, I mean, we have to be frank. It's already in last year being reported as the poorest country in the world. So I don't think we should ignore that as though it's not there. Now, what I do say, however, because Nigeria is so blessed, even though the common sensual levels of, I would say, ordinary Nigerians to the top level, a lot of common sense isn't taking place in that country. Now, even that said, the people are largely able to feed. However, because of the structure that they have there, how people are fed, and the fact that people do go hungry, and the fact that economically Nigeria is so imbalanced, people do go hungry. So we shouldn't pickpocket ourselves by not acknowledging that. Now, I like what Philip had to say. It was quite deep, and it did raise the level of the communication we're having here, which is to say that the word potential, which I myself am sick of. I've been hearing potential over the last 40 years where Nigeria is concerned. Yes, Nigeria has a great potential, but we understand that Nigeria being whatever level of economy in the world.
Jagoon, real quick, did you say Nigeria is the poorest country in the world?
It has been written that was the case.
That's a damn lie.
No, it's not a damn lie. Honestly, you all you have to do, guys. All right, guys.
Do you mean per capita?
Allow me to speak.
Do you mean per capita?
You see, my brother, I will just ask you, no matter how offensive what I'm saying is to you, is to go and look it up. Go and look at the
and who made those statistics? Brothers, which white person made those statistics?
I'm looking at it, Jagoon. It's not Nigeria's not the poorest country in the world per capita or whatever.
Listen to me. I'm not really here to argue that. That's not my point.
But you said you made that comment.
You made the comment, bro.
Wait, my brothers. I made the comment and I meant it. You get me? However, it's not my biggest. Oh, you can say that for yourself.
You're wrong.
Okay. You can say that. Look, you have to let me speak, guys.
But
whatever you told you that
you are wrong. Just like Gas Him Up was wrong and everything.
No. I'm not following. Wait, guys. Let me speak. Let me speak, please. I am not following Gas Him Up's position. You understand? I listen to him and I don't necessarily agree. As I said, it is extreme to look at it in that way. Having said that, my brothers, if you look at certain indexes over the last 5 years of Nigeria, or of the poverty capitals of the world, you will see Nigeria at the top of that list over the last 2 years, and it has been
true.
Whose list is that? Whose list?
You see, the thing is, whilst you're defending your positions, you're still not allowing me to make my point.
Because you're wrong. Because you're
You
wrong.
can say that. I've heard you say that. You don't have to repeat it. Repeating it is nonsense. You get me? Because all I'm going to do is repeat myself. So
Man,
once we
first of all, stop that damn British
we
accent.
agree to disagree. We
No,
agree
I'm
to
not,
disagree.
I'm not doing
All
that.
right, or whatever you want to take it. I want to move on. I want to say what I'm here to say, which is that the extremist positions that we put Nigeria in does not tell us the truth about Nigeria, because Nigeria is extreme. If it is such that only 5% of the actual nation make Nigeria great in its economy, that does not have to boil down to the poor people of that nation. It can still have that. The people of that nation are knowing, each of us, we have the knowledge that Nigeria is not what it's supposed to be. And that is the bottom line. We all know that by now, Nigeria should be already a top 5 economy in the world. It has the potential to do that, but it hasn't ever reached there because of these extremist positions that people take. We're not telling ourselves the actual truth about the issues in that country, which is why
you're not telling the truth. You just told a lie.
No. As far as you're concerned, no, Dinus, bro, Dinus. Honestly, we can argue this. It's not a problem. I haven't got what you have on the table right now, even though I've got Google obviously on my phone. I'm not looking at these data right at the moment. I'm just here to make a comment. The data, however, is there. It is out there. It's only for you to see it and find it. If you have not heard that on the news before, then that's your own ears and that's
Which
your own
news?
observation.
Which news?
Which
BBC or CNN?
No, bro. News. I'm talking news. I'm talking news coming out of Nigeria. I'm talking
like I said, BBC and CNN.
No, what I said, Arise News. That's not BBC and CNN.
Yeah, it's same thing.
But it's just not
All right,
true.
well, whatever. Where do you get your news from that it's not?
Nigeria is the poorest country on the planet.
Are you trying to tell me Nigeria is poorer than Niger next door?
Niger is better than Nigeria. You might not believe it. It is better.
These people don't understand what's going on. You don't understand what's going on.
Haiti. You been to Haiti?
Understand. You have no understanding.
Have you been to Haiti?
I haven't been to Haiti. Look, my brothers, I'm not here to argue these small points because they are small points. If you're going to tell me that there's no poverty in Nigeria, take that to the bank.
No poverty. Who said that? Who said that?
That's the extreme that you're coming from. You're coming from that extreme.
No one said that.
Who said that?
As a Nigerian, listen, guys. As a Nigerian myself, I do not want Nigeria to claim the poorest nation in the world. That's not giving me any harm.
All right, but you talk.
Let me land. If you want to understand,
cut his mic.
Hold on, Delroy. Jagoon, you got 30 seconds till I pass it, Delroy. Go ahead.
Do you all understand that you've been badgering the hell out of what I've got to say, and you give me 30 seconds?
All right. You got 30 seconds, man. Hurry up.
All right, no. You can push me. You can push me around if you wish. You know, if you don't want to hear what I've got to say, that's fair enough.
No, we don't. We don't want to hear no more.
I'm still going to be here saying what I'm saying.
30 seconds. I got to pass. Go ahead. Jagoon, go ahead.
Are you asking me to complete my sentence?
You got 30 seconds. Go ahead.
All right. All I want to say, away from the arguments that we've had, away from the dispute that we've had, all I want to say is that the people of Nigeria know that the Nigeria that they have at this today is not the Nigeria of their dreams, nor is it the Nigeria as it should be given the time that we've had. We've had 60 good years of independence, and we have had the last, 20 odd years under this new supposed democracy. And it hasn't really given the people anything. To be frank, people are individuals in that country, and what they get individually is what they struggle for. Regardless of what the elite does, the people of that country are so industrious that you might think that they're rich, but they're not. They're sweating their bollocks off every single day, but they're not coming together to make a change in that nation. And that's what I want to say.
All right, go ahead, Delroy.
Gee, man, y'all want to make me turn Christian up in this shit, bro. Dinus, I know a lot of Africans, especially Nigerians. I grew up with them in New York. I have never met a person a people that hate their country so much as Nigerians. They literally hate their country to death. There's nothing good could come out of Nigeria according to them. It doesn't matter what it is. It's absolutely incredible the amount of hate Nigerians have for Nigeria. My God. All right. All right. Let me get down to
was that referring to me in any way?
I'm referring to Nigerians.
Very good.
Okay. I'm referring to Nigerians.
And that's too much of a generic
Like I said,
statement.
I grew up with them.
Too generalized.
Okay.
Let him continue.
Let me finish. I'm talking. I'm telling you, I know a lot of Africans, right? But Nigerians in particular, they have hundreds of poor countries in the world, lots in Africa, but everybody have some kind of a optimism towards their country, except Nigerians. Look at the three Sahel countries that's trying to put themselves together. These are poor, dirt poor countries, but the level of optimism they have for the country is extremely, extremely high. Right? The people I was watching a video. This dude with his family, right, went across the desert through Libya, right? He never made it, all right? And he was very upset because he spent over $4,000 for him and his family to take this boat trip. Where the hell he got $4,000 from? The average American don't have $4,000 in his bank at any one time. The average American, where the hell he get $4,000 from? Are you telling me all is 98% of Nigerians are poor?
No, he sold his land. He sold his family land. That's how he got the 4,000. You don't know that.
I don't care where he got it from. I don't care if he sell drugs, but he had it. That's how much it cost him to travel from Nigeria all the way to Libya, and he didn't even make it, so he lost the damn money. All right. Now, this nonsense about this emphasis on dirt poor, we ain't never gonna be nothing. And I mean, why are you guys like this? I don't understand.
I think this is the reason we can't let foreigners speak for us, because what you're saying is the opposite of the reality. And that's why we have to speak up for ourselves.
What are you talking about?
Because what you're saying, you don't understand the root.
What do you mean the root? But you guys, Nigeria is not the only poor country in the world. What are you talking about?
The person you're referring to has $4,000.
Nigeria
could have sold his entire family.
I don't care what he did. I don't care what he did. I don't care if he prostitute. I don't care, but he had it. 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 Shut up. Let me finish talking, bro. Let me finish talking. Shut up. Let me finish talking.
Go ahead.
Okay. Let me finish talking. It doesn't matter. He had it, and you're saying he did this. You don't know either what he did. Right, he might have worked hard and saved the money. So you're accusing him now.
And the probability is 98%.
You're accusing him now.
No, I'm not accusing.
That's what I mean by negative.
I know my people. You don't know them, and I'm telling you that 98% of people can tell you that guy probably sold their family property. You see,
Diana? This is my point. This is my point. Negative. How you know he didn't borrow? How you know he didn't borrow from many families?
There's difference between negativity. How you know he didn't borrow from many families? I think you're mixing up the two.
I'm not mixing up a goddamn thing, bro. I'm not mixing up nothing.
No, the reality can be very negative. The reality can be very negative. Doesn't make it a negativity. Do you understand me? That guy sold up a lot.
You don't. By the way, Nigerians is not. Man, shut the fuck up, man. Shut up. Let me talk.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, I ain't gonna let you fucking talk.
Terrible, man. Terrible.
I'm not gonna let you talk. No, you talk enough already. Nah, you talk, Dynasty. You talk enough already. I don't want to say nothing else.
Go ahead and continue, Delroy. Go ahead and continue.
Okay. Nigerians don't have handcuff on poor. Okay, they do not. Okay, thousands of poor countries, poor people in poor countries, millions and millions. You don't have like some handcuff on poor. You see what I'm saying? Stop. They got poor. Do you know what poor people they have in America? Both black and white.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what poor people they have here? Living check by check. You're one check from out the door.
Yeah.
You know what poor people they have here. So what is this? Nigeria is the last poorest place on earth.
Can I just quickly ask? Can I just quickly ask? Dynast, I sent something to you. It's on Wikipedia. It's a quick reach. You understand? Because I'm afraid we still have to stick with certain realities. Nigeria is a vastly populous country. India, with all that India is doing, yes, with all the fact that India is a global nation, it's very strategic, it's extremely industrialized, has many millions of clever individuals, many millions of wealthy individuals.
And they're poor as hell.
Yes, it was the poorest place in the world. Nigeria took over from them in recent years. Is because this is how it is. You know, if we see Nigerians all around the world, it doesn't tell you what Nigeria is. It doesn't say, it doesn't suggest to you what Nigeria is. All I'm saying, my guys,
you're too damn negative,
my guys, wait,
you're not even looking for no answer. What's the answer?
Wait,
okay,
what's the answer? I'm making this suggestion, but I've got more suggestions.
What's the answer?
My brother, calm down. All I'm saying to you guys, Dynast, please, if you could just do us all a favor on this panel, open the what I've sent you.
And I've seen the link, but
just read it. Don't hide it from us.
I'm gonna show it, but it's from 2019.
Okay, that's not so long ago. Don't hand it from us. Just read it out for people to hear what's been written there. I didn't write it. Okay, read it out.
I'm pulling it up. But keep going on, don't worry.
So
Dynast.
You can ignore it.
Dynast.
It's blatant ignorance. That's what's going on.
Dynast. Is of if these people want Nigeria to remain poor.
Right.
Is that if they do, they have nothing.
Nigeria to remain. You're making fallacy, man. Statement. What do you mean that you want Nigeria to remain?
So why so negative? So why so negative?
That's very ridiculous. What do you mean they want Nigeria?
Why so negative?
Hold on, guys.
So why so negative? Why so negative?
Can I say something?
Me, I'm not a negative person. I'm not negative at all.
Jargon. I've always liked the way you comment, but this time I will have to disagree because you're much more negative than I thought you are.
I'm not trying to be negative, my brother.
Dynast, can I speak now?
You are.
No. You can't see in these ways. You see the way we got this. The way.
Time to speak.
All I want is that we're not just abusing each other here. It's not about. You tackle what's been said as opposed to tackling me as an individual. I'm asking for Dynast to read what I sent.
But why do you want me to read something from 2019?
It's on Wikipedia.
Because 2019 is only 5 years ago. This gives you the demographic of where I'm speaking from. It's only 5 years ago, bro.
Yeah, but
it's not ancient. You're speaking as though it's ancient. Grow up. We have to grow up when we converse.
The most recent one, and Nigeria has lifted itself from being the most impoverished country with the highest poverty rate in the world.
Can I say something?
No. Because
I don't get it.
All right, fair enough, bro. If you don't get it, that's fair enough.
And Dynast, that's per capita.
Dynast, can I say something, please? Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Everyone needs to calm down. Okay, good. All the Nigerians on this platform that has been complaining, please, guys, did you guys know that normally World Bank recommend that every 5 years you rebase your economy? And did you know that Nigeria have not rebased its economy for the past a decade now? You know that?
Why would they rebase the economy when the naira is literally nothing? What are you talking about? The naira is next to zero. We base economy on what? What
Hold
currency?
on, no, hold on. See, I was not talking to you. See, I was not talking. I'm talking to the panel. And another thing, Dinas, please, can you check this on the internet? There is about 40 million SME companies, businesses in Nigeria. Do you know that? I guess many of these people that are speaking here, they don't know
Oh,
that.
yes, Christ.
You understand me? There's 40 million SME businesses in Nigeria. So if everyone is poor, if 90% of Nigerians are poor, then what are those business doing?
Oh, you ready? All right.
I think they would have just fold up and
Well, it's a different one, but just give me
yeah,
10
see,
minutes.
Hey, somebody needs to mute their mic. Come on.
mute. I get it that yes, no one will deny here that there is no issue. Yes, we have issues. But when you look at most of these issues, they are caused by Nigerians. See, you guys use the government to escape your responsibility, including myself.
Yes.
Bro,
We use that.
you're double talking. In one way, you're saying that Nigeria. One way you say Nigeria is doing so great. In the other way, you say Nigeria, you're causing your own problem. What are you? You're contradicting yourself. Pick one and say what you need to say.
I'm not
Really?
See, you keep quiet. You have been speaking here. Since you have been disturbing every other person's opinion, you relax.
It's not about, you know what,
hold on.
you're quick to attack me, not to attack the point. I'm attacking the point. So I can call you stupid, I can call you an idiot, I can use foul language too.
You
So
have not been there
I'm not immune to it. So if you're going to be respectful, say what you need to say. Don't personally assault me.
I bet you have not been here for 5 years or
so. Go ahead, Nigeria first. You got 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Yes, so these guys, they are just complaining. You understand me? Most of them that is complaining here, they have no businesses here in Nigeria. They have no stake here. It is just all they want is just destruction and chaos in the country. You understand? They are not on ground. Ask him when was the last time he visited? Maybe he might tell you maybe 10 years ago or 5 years ago. So they rely on second-hand information they get from their family. You have never been here. So speak. When was the last time you were here?
Bro, you're sitting down here making assumption and saying who's been there, who doesn't have business. What do you know about anybody on this panel? Bro, just shut up, bro. You don't know what you're talking about.
I live here.
All right, guys. Let me pass the mic. Let me pass it to John. Go ahead, Jonathan.
All right, so I just got back to the Bay last week, Friday, right? And I was in Nigeria for like 5 to 6 months. And one thing I learned about Nigeria, I don't discredit any Nigerians that are speaking negative about the country because I completely understand. When they had they recently had, I don't know, it's probably still ongoing. They had a labor strike. They wanted the federal government to raise the minimum wage or whatever. And when they started that labor strike, they shut down the national electric grid. They shut down airports. They shut down all kinds of shit. And when they shut that down, there's no electricity, right? If there's no electricity, then there's no water because you got to pump that water with electricity. So during that time period, there's no electricity, no water. And then if the only way you're going to get that is if you have a generator. And the price of fuel is so damn high to the average Nigerian. If they even have money for a generator, they're going to sacrifice food for electricity. It's just not a realistic thing. And if you have to travel anywhere in Nigeria, everyone's raising the prices because of fuel. So if you look at Nigeria's GDP, right, they always say it's $2,000 per capita. That's cool. But if the Nigerian minimum wage is only $20 a month, that means all of that beautiful per capita income is going somewhere else. It's not reaching to the main Nigerians. Now, some states are blessed. Edo State, 70,000 minimum wage. But that ain't the same for the rest. You have some states that haven't even implicated the 30,000 minimum wage. They even been paying 25,000 minimum wage in Abia or Abia, whatever they want to call it. Or it's just too many states, right? So if the majority of Nigerians are suffering, I have seen businesses open up. And unfortunately, I'm willing to say they're either businesses that are done by Nigerians that are living abroad, that are opening up these businesses or these restaurants or these hotels, or they're, for the most part, foreigners. So India has a is what, a top 5 economy or some shit like that currently, whatever. But people flee the hell out of India to come to the United States, the UK. They're fleeing for a reason. It doesn't matter what that GDP states. It's
It's a simple
beautiful.
thing.
But if depending on the people that money reaches, that's all that makes a difference.
That's
And
right.
currently, if the money ain't reaching the masses of the people, who the hell gives a fuck about it being 2075, the top 5 number?
That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. Nothing more than that. But people are being panicked for some reason. Like they can't hear English.
No, it's
laughable.
it's not like people are being panicked, Jago. It's just that your metric is off. So
Who's speaking, please?
You're confusing a lot of things.
Sorry, who's speaking, please? I can't
sorry,
see.
this is Ayo. Your metric is your metric is off completely.
What metric did I use firstly?
So, you said Nigeria is the poorest country in the world.
Right.
No, I said this is what I said. This is what I said precisely. This is what I said precisely. Let me be precise. I do want
Let me finish. I'm literally.
I want you to be accurate.
Can we please calm down? Let's allow other people to speak.
No, people have to be accurate.
Why your metric is off. And
what metric? What metric? I said I didn't use any metrics. I said it has been written. I said
can we allow him to speak?
This is impossible. Whether you know it or not, you're using a metric, okay? And the metric you're using can be valid if you state the metric you're using. So it's just like saying India, by the same metric, you would say India is the poorest country in the world. And I think everyone here would say, no, that's not true. But that's the same metric you're using for Nigeria. And the metric is you're using absolute numbers. So an example is if you have 10 people in this room and 5 people are living on $1 a day, and I have 5,000 people in the next room and 50 people are living on $1 a day, which room is poorer? Jago, I'm asking you, who has the poorer room? Exactly. So that's the metric you're using. So you've completely discredited your argument. Nigeria is not a poor country. Right. Using that metric, which is very simple. Everyone understands it.
Continue misunderstanding me. Continue misunderstanding if it helps you.
And that's all I want to say. You're using the wrong metric to describe an absolute number versus a percentage. Nigeria is by no means, it's even a middle income country compared to the real poor countries in the world.
If I may just come in, Ayo, my friend.
Nigeria is a middle income country based on GDP.
Ayo, my friend.
But
if I may just read this to you. If I may just read this,
it's not a middle income country.
Jonathan, can I ask you a question, Jonathan?
Can I wait, guys, please. This is the list of the Nigerians.
Bro, I literally just explained the metric you're using. You're still bringing up a list. Let go of your ego. You were wrong.
In 2019,
used by the World Bank, is used by the following list.
We're not in 2019, Jagoon.
I know the year we're in. I know that I'm reading from a base for you guys to understand. Wait, calm down. Why are you so irritated?
I'm not irritated. I'm saying
you are. Calm down.
Use the updated data. That's all I'm asking.
Bro, so which room is poorer? The room with 5 people on $1 out of 10 people, or the room with 50 people with $1 out of a 5,000 people room? Which room is poorer, Jagan?
Nigeria.
No. Out of those 2 rooms,
Nigeria, the country.
What's the poorer room?
Poor people living in extreme poverty worldwide since 2019, which is not that long. That's what it says. Overtaking much more populous nation in India.
2000. Why are you stuck on 2019?
Guys, I'm not stuck. No way. It says since. It didn't say what since.
That's 2000.
How long is 2019?
I shared with you the updated data.
So Jago, India is the poorest country in the world. We agree. We accept that, right?
No, we haven't accepted that. It says it taken over.
Using the same metric, that would make India the poorest country in the world because they have the most people living in poverty in a country.
I'm going to pull the list up again. Hold on. Here's the list. Here's the
So
list.
it's not Nigeria anymore. We're not
That's
number one.
absolute numbers you're talking about, bro. Did you not
Yeah,
go to
it's been
school?
Nigeria for a very, 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 very long time.
Central African
Oh, turn up.
Republic, Mozambique, Nigeria's not even in the top 10 anymore. It's right here.
This is not complicated. Exactly. It's not, you're talking about absolute numbers, which would make India the poorest country in the world using that same metric.
Well,
Let's hear about next topic.
what you said, what you said doesn't. India wasn't listed amongst what Dennis just read. You guys are looking at this all upside down.
I just gave the
Go to Google, go to Google and type in which country in the world has the most number of poor people.
You do that. You do that. I just
most people live in abject poverty.
We got to move on. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Let's move on.
Go ahead, Justin.
You're stuck. You guys are stuck.
Go ahead, Justin.
You know, I think that we there has to be a balanced view, in my personal opinion, right? Nigeria is, to me, a lot of Nigerians are not happy currently because we elected a drug dealer and he's effing up the country, and we're close to. Well, I don't know if we elected him. I'm not gonna go. I don't want to go into that because that's a whole different conversation.
Let him finish. Go ahead, Justin.
But you know, I think right now a lot of us are coming together, and I'm gonna push back on what I think he was Jamaican or Caribbean. He said that Nigerians hate our country. I think you hate the country. I understand that. I can understand where you, I can understand where you come from with that perspective, but I think that we love our country so much that we're just disappointed. No, I think I'm just being as a Nigerian. I'm telling you, that's really what it is. A lot of us. You know, have you had? Do you have that? Like, well, I'm sure you don't, but I'm just saying. You know how, like, if you're a parent and you have a child that's behaving bad, and he's getting in trouble in school, and you have to take off days of work to go and pick your kid up because you fought somebody or whatever. Like, that's how Nigerians feel with our country. We love our child, but we're upset that he keeps on getting in trouble in school. Right. And sometimes we vent to our friends about it, and we talk like, "Man, my kid, I don't know what to do." Okay, you get it. So that's.
I'm trying to hear the guy. Let him finish. Go ahead, Justin.
Right. So that's kind of where we're coming from whenever we talk about our country. Most Nigerians, let me tell you, man. Yeah. We would rather be in Nigeria any day of the week. It doesn't matter if it's America. No, not the do a poll. I'm telling you, do a poll. Most of the people that are complaining the most, they love the country the most. Simple. Yeah. If I may interject, sometimes our country hurts our feelings.
On this panel right now, you can do a poll.
If I may, no. Go ahead, Justin. Go ahead and finish.
Most of us, I'm telling you, do a poll. Most of us know what our country can do. We know the entrepreneurial energy our country has, the amount of companies we have, everything. We're one of the few Black countries on the planet where the Black people actually own our economy. We're very proud people. We have multiple car manufacturing companies. We have weapons manufacturing companies. We manufacture tanks. We have the largest gas processing plant in probably the world. We have the largest oil processing plant in the world. We make more than drones. We make tanks as well. We do a lot of things.
If I may quickly interject,
right? So we're proud of what we've done.
Just
let me cook. I'm gonna land in 30 minutes. Right? We're very proud people. We're just real quick. We're very proud people, right? But it doesn't mean that we can't point out negative things about our country. And right now, there's a lot of negative shit. Just being real. But I don't want to be that negative Nigerian that says there's no hope left, it's all over. No. I think it's good to highlight issues that we have. But then at the same time, I don't want us to get so negative about Nigeria that it's like nothing can ever work and there's no solutions. And I'm not on that side. That's why I said it's balanced. I'm more kind of in the middle. Like, of course we have hope, but let's not act like everything is peachy, you know?
Okay, let me pass the FBA ADOS. Ready. Go ahead, unmute yourself. FBA ADOS, be ready. Unmute yourself. All right, go
Hello,
on. Go ahead.
I'm right here.
Who's Mike? Mike ain't talk yet.
No, Mike is after FBA. Go ahead, FBA.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Hello. So I am here because one of the FBA, ADOS, that trademark, they're in the live chat. So hopefully they will come to this panel and do what they do best, which is ramble. Just ramble. They do.
Okay, all right. All right. Are you done?
Trademark, are you here? Please come to the panel. There are all of these various Africans, because we all know how you behave towards Africans here in the United States. So you have your chance to come state your claim, or you can do what you do best, which is nothing but complain, bitch, moan, eat, and shit. But you never take accountability, and we of course know productive. No productivity, no growth, nothing. In the country that you built, you do nothing. So why don't you build actual sewer systems in the deep South and clean up Atlanta and stop bringing STDs to Houston? Because all the Africans were in law school, and we can't just keep defending you in these criminal defense courts. We got other things to do because everything's not about you. Okay, I'll be quiet now.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Wow, she just chose violence.
Go ahead, Mike. You gotta unmute yourself, Mike. You gotta unmute yourself, Mike.
I do think that Africa has been, colonized, like in other words, was the British, the French, the Portuguese, all these different colonies. And so I think it's good to see that places like Nigeria and Uganda and places like that are fighting back, and because they have enormous resources, whether it's gas, minerals, all these different things. I mean, Africa is rich. It's rich in resources. And for so many years, the British, like I said, the British, the French, all these big colonizers, they would basically come in, oh, let me help you out, buddy. Pat me on the shoulder.
Sorry,
hold
sir.
on.
Mr. Mike, including the United States, add your country to it, please.
Oh, the United States has never colonized Africa, bro.
No, but your companies are here looting.
The United States has never colonized Africa.
I agree,
but what I'm trying to say is that Africa started.
Let him finish.
If I can finish my sentence. So what happens basically is Africa starts standing up, and they have representation. They have presidents. They have, but the problem is that they get greedy. And they start robbing from the poor. So you're taking one dictator and you're putting in another, and that's just what I see. It's sad to see that. It's sad to see that, you free yourself from your captors, but then you capture your own people. And that's what I see happening. And allegedly, what do you, everybody think? What everybody think?
I agree. If I can quickly come in, I beg everybody's pardon. What I agree with to a point is that, you see, when the African nations first got their independence from the colonialists, you saw a plethora of great leaders across the whole nation and great talent in political sphere. Now, a lot of times, the proper leaders for those nations either did not come through as the first leaders, which was fundamentally important, or if they did come through as the first leaders and they were the right leaders, they would be cajoled or killed before they really grew into themselves.
By who?
So Africa has standard. Well, as I said, I've already made mention. I'm being intelligent here. I want all of us to raise our intelligence in order to have this conversation.
You're being cautious. Who killed him? Who killed Patrice Lumumba? Who killed him?
No, we've said it. It's at the end of the day, it's the colonialists. They've been killed. I'm not going. Please. Wait, please. Oh, why are you doing this? I'm trying to make a quick
answer the question. Who killed them?
Bruh, you are not my judge. You are peculiar to me.
Who killed them? Answer the question.
Can you just sit aside and let me make my new statement?
Let y'all go. Go ahead, y'all.
Stop being triggered. Just listen. If you disagree at late. I'm trying to agree with the person who just spoke. to a point because he
No,
believes.
he's wrong. He's wrong. He's absolutely wrong, and that's the narrative that's been pushed for so long.
Why is this person acting like a child?
Okay, finish. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go, Dragon. Go ahead.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that built upon broken structure, we have not been able to have leadership that makes sense. There was an individual by the name of Awolowo. Most of us won't know him. That individual should have been the first leader of Nigeria.
And why? I'm sorry.
If he was,
I'm sorry. Okay, I'll be quiet. But this guy, man, come on, man.
If he was, I believe Nigeria will be on a different footing today.
Why wasn't he though? Why wasn't he?
It wasn't because he wasn't allowed to. They knew who he was. The colonialists, the British knew who he was. They did not want him to ride. Bro, I'm asking to us. All I'm saying to my friend who's interrupting me all the time, if you just take a point and listen and stop being triggered like a picnic, you grow up to the level of conversation that we're having and understand we're having these communications, even if we disagree, to the point of solution, not to the point of cussing and blaming and behaving like a child. For God's sake, what's the matter with you?
All right, carry on. Let's not get
I've reached. All I'm doing was quickly agreeing with the person who spoke before me. It was not necessarily my turn.
All right, congratulations. Can I speak? Is that okay?
Jagun, are you done?
Thank you. Yes.
All right, go on.
All right. Here's the thing. The popular narrative is Africans can't manage their affairs. They can't govern themselves. They can't do this. They can't do that. They can't innovate. We can't create. And it's bollocks.
That's not where I'm coming from. That's where you're coming from. That's why you're so triggered.
My man. Can I speak?
I'm doing what you did to me, my friend, about letting me speak.
Come on, guys.
Like you gave anybody any respect.
Hold on, guys, man. Yo. So what happens in Africa is it just like in Middle East, like Iraq and Iran.
I wasn't done speaking. Excuse me. I wasn't done speaking. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the narrative is we can't handle our affairs, and unfortunately, majority of Africans and I would go as far to say the Black diaspora in general has accepted that. But whenever a leader comes forward, and there've been many leaders, whether it's Kwame Nkrumah or Patrice Lumumba, who actually try to, who dare to want better for their people, they're killed. They are killed, and we know who kills them. And then we revert back to this. Story.
You're making a point that you didn't allow me to make, actually, which is even more ridiculous.
Well, you were pussyfooting around.
All you needed to do was listen and shut your mouth. That's what you needed.
Let the guy finish. Go ahead.
So, yes. Do we have structural problems? Absolutely. Do we have problems with ethnicities and different groups vying for dominance? Absolutely. But you know what our biggest problem is? Our biggest problem is whenever we do have a leader that emerges who can change things, that leader is sabotaged, called, taken out. And that hasn't changed. So we can keep on dancing around the issues. And that's why, bro, you have such an
So
ego,
are we
man.
expecting white people to come back and save us? What's the point of?
Well, the point is this. The point is we need to understand that we all need to come together and understand that whenever we have a leader who's doing the right thing, it doesn't matter if that leader is from our country or ethnicity. That's the leader we need to stand by, because there will always be easy reasons or reasons for the greater powers to try to turn us against that person. Because who wants a developed Africa who actually sells its resources for market value? Nobody in the world wants that. They want your resources at pennies on the dollar. And the only way they're going to keep on getting that is if they keep you all in chaos. And just looking at the microcosm of what's been going on, with how we interact with each other. That's exactly why no one's worrying about Africa. So it's
But that's more of a us problem. That's not the white man, because the white man's
exactly.
not here
So
in this
we need to see the
conversation.
bigger picture. We need to see the bigger picture. We're going to have differences, and we're never always going to agree on the same thing. But if we do have a leader, and they come up every generation, maybe a couple every generation now and then, we get leaders who can actually make a change. And instead of worrying about other situations or other areas of the world that are having their issues and going on social media and posting free this and free that, that's the leader you need to worry about. Look at what's going on in Sudan and Congo. I have never seen any Black person, either from Africa or in the diaspora or African American, worry about Congo, but we're all worrying about some other country that don't care about us and never have. Really? We just need to change the narrative, and we need to focus our efforts and our energies and the little influence we have on where it matters and where we can make a difference. So I'm going to get off my soapbox and just say that these little silly differences we have, it doesn't matter if we all come together and we push a leader to the top who can actually effect change. It's not going to be easy. We're not our worst enemy. We have a bigger enemy, making sure that those resources keep on flowing for pennies on the dollar. Because the minute we can structure, we have structure, we can organize, and we can actually sell resources at market value, who do you think loses? The rest of the world. And they don't want to lose. They don't want to pay a penny more than they're currently paying. That's the big picture we need to be looking at. I'm gonna get off my soapbox.
Can I step in real quick and say something?
Yeah, Justin, did I pass the mic after that? Go ahead, Justin, did I pass the mic?
I think another thing that we have to kind of accept is that not every ethnic group is the same. Not every ethnic group has the same culture or the same worldview or the same ideology. And what I personally think is the solution to Nigeria and to probably most countries in Africa is something called restructuring. In Nigeria, what will be the solution for us is to give power to the restructuring basically gives power to the constituent units in a country. So most African countries, I've noticed, are very centralized. All the power is literally in one person, the president.
That's it.
And if that president is from the, Igbo tribe, right, he's gonna, give all the appointments to the Igbo people, and he's gonna leave all the other hundreds of different ethnic groups in said country to just live in poverty or struggle with very little government, presence in their region. And I've seen this in Ethiopia. I've seen this in look at the Congo. Look at literally every single country. The president is only going to help the elite of the ethnic group that he comes with, and it becomes this ethnocracy situation. And as a result, there's a little growth. What Africans have to do is they have to accept that the person from their ethnic group might not be the best person to lead every single year in perpetuity. And that's the issue that I see. Everybody is so tribalist that they don't want anyone outside of their ethnic group to ever be president in a country. And they don't care if there's 300 people in different ethnic groups in the country. They don't care.
Can I ask you a question?
And I think that I'm going to land with this. My bad, I'm rambling.
I got a question
to solve that problem, allow the different states, regions, or whatever within the country to operate kind of as this quasi country. Obviously, they won't be a country, but boom, yeah, like what's happening in America, the same kind of system where states' rights and stuff like that. In Africa, they really, really, really need that because even within the state, allow the mayors to have more power, allow local governments to have more power, give power down to the, to the people.
Just,
Sorry,
And we draw
if
these
I could
borders
quickly,
too.
if I could quickly add to your point of view, I do beg everybody's pardon. I do agree with what you're saying to a large degree. There are countries, you see, when you find that tribalism is, as you put it, because I don't necessarily like that term, but when you see it, that there is tribalism in a nation, then you have to understand that that nation is not a country. It hasn't performed nationhood. It hasn't got to that. It hasn't reached that point. And this is where studies and understanding has to come through, because there has been regionalism in Africa and it has worked. But what has happened over the last 40, 50 years is regionalism has been triumphed. It's been taken away from the people to perform a centralist government. It is not anything that's performed anywhere in the world necessarily, apart from in Africa, whereby the centralists, who are made up of all these different tribes, become the elite and they run it for the global hegemony. That's what's running. That's what's going on. And we've got to bring our level of...
All right, hold on. Let me pass the mic. I'll pass it back to you, Delaware. Then we're going to close out. Go ahead, Mike.
No, you're exactly right. So basically, the whole paradigm, and I wouldn't want to call Africa a third world country because they're actually very successful. They're actually so rich in resources. But you're exactly right. The globalists come in and they steal all of the resources from the country. And then they make these presidents or the president's son, the president's family, multi millionaires. And the rest of the people are struggling. And that's what it is. It's a power game. It's like you have your so all right, our United States president lives in the White House, right? Okay, he does. And he gets paid like $400 and something thousand a year for the rest of his life. Okay. Some of these African dictators, they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. So they're almost invested into...
Some of them are billionaires.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at the fucking Saudis, bro. Sorry to curse. Look at the Saudis. They're saying some Saudis are trillionaires. So they're emboldening these people to basically put down the population. And they're sitting back, smoking a Cuban cigar, just pissing on their people, man.
And the problem is they control everything. If things were more decentralized, it would make things better.
You ever see the movie Lord of War?
Yeah.
That's it.
Read the book too.
That's it in a nutshell. That's it. The president basically controls everything, and people live in squalor, and the president has a solid gold AK. I mean, that's just how it is, because people, the masses aren't educated. They don't educate the people. They don't let them have an education. They don't teach them right and wrong. They teach them how just to be complacent and to, just basically be wandering fools, which they're not because they're human beings. I'm just saying, but they're amazing people, but they don't know how to stick up for themselves, where to go, what to do, because they have nowhere to go.
I think we lost him. Let me
Just Link.
Yeah, what's up?
Let me ask you a question. You were talking about the different ethnic groups being appointed.
Yeah.
Tinubu is what ethnic group he's from?
He's Yoruba.
Yoruba.
And so you're saying he don't appoint any other ethnic group?
No, I'm just speaking from a historical. Well, he has appointed most of his ethnic group, but I'm not really angry at that because most Yoruba people are very educated. I'm Igbo, so I'm not really upset about that because I think a lot of them are qualified. But I'm just speaking from a historical standpoint.
Okay, I got you. But even isn't some of his biggest right hand people are from different ethnic group, like the road infrastructure person. What's his name? Isn't he Igbo?
Yeah, he's an Igbo guy. He's doing good.
And what about Wiki? Where's Wiki from?
He's from to me, I think he's Igbo, but I'm gonna say that.
No, he's Igbo man.
Well, he's not Ijaw.
He's Ikwere. He's
Okay.
Ikwere. He's from the South
He's
South.
Ikwere.
All right, well,
that's it.
Yeah.
that's
But
all I
most
wanted
of
to
his
say.
other appointments, have been Yorubas for the most part. If you look at literally Google the list of appointments, I mean,
But these two are the ones that I've seen the most and talked about the most that I've seen so far.
Well, they're
Wiki,
high-ranking
Wiki,
ministers.
and right,
Yeah,
exactly.
they're high-ranking
Okay,
ministers.
that's all I
But
want. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, but the majority of them are not like. I mean, there's a list of
I
his
mean,
appointments. You can
I
Google
think it's
it.
fair to say that over the last two governments of Nigeria from the same political party have largely been tribal in their choices.
Exactly.
Don't use the word
The
tribal if you
fact of the
can,
matter
please.
is,
But it
Don't
has
use the word
been
tribal if
though.
you can, please.
Well,
Say ethnic
But
group.
what other word would you want to
guys, let me
use?
do this.
Ethnic group.
Because I have to close
Ethnic
it out.
group.
Let me pass it to Miriam. Then I gotta close out. Go ahead, Miriam.
Tribal is a white word.
All right, Miriam, go
But
ahead.
what word would you use?
Just think.
Nepotism?
I'm passing it to Miriam.
Ethnic
Go ahead,
group.
Miriam. Go ahead, Miriam.
Ethnic.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, I was trying to read the Business Insider Africa. I think that's what you were quoting from.
Go ahead, Miriam. Go ahead.
Okay, and according to this, a lot of the growth is going to be from international export, and just my suspicion is that it's going to be mostly the nitrogen fertilizer because with Russia having its sanctions on it, nobody can buy fertilizer from them, and that's where they get most of their fertilizer. And it seems that Nigeria also exports fertilizer.
fertilizer is cheap. It's not going to make you a top.
That's one
20.
thing. And then the other thing I wanted to say is that I don't know how will translate. No, but whole countries need it. I mean, I don't know how much they make, but also I don't know how that will translate to the regular people in Nigeria. I was wondering if someone can talk about that without arguing.
Yeah, absolutely. If no one minds, I'm happy to take that. Fertilizer is great; it's needed, but it's not going to make you a top country. It's a necessity. No country gets wealthy by selling fertilizer or alone. I mean, you know, the resources that are out there that people know generate wealth, national wealth. Top one obviously being oil. Nigeria has an abundance, so I mean, if they weren't able to harness that, I don't think fertilizer is going to make much of a difference. But
can I quickly come in? Sorry, guys. Sorry, my brother who just.
Yeah.
If I can just quickly come in, you see, any commodity in the world, wait, if I can say any.
So
he was saying something. I'm just objecting. That's all.
The guy just got started. Let him finish.
Yeah. So sure. There are a lot of resources in Nigeria. Everyone knows that, from lithium to gold to potash to.
Don't forget agriculture.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff, but nothing is touching. Nothing scratches the surface like oil does, and we weren't able to harness that to make us a global power. So nothing else is going to matter. In fact, I would venture to say that, you know, I kind of feel like until we develop a structure and a system that works, it's kind of may make sense to just put a lid on everything and not even try to harness any resources at this point. There are many wealthy countries that have no resources, many, and it kind of helps. It kind of helps countries to develop an appetite to become more productive or add to the value chain as opposed to exporting raw materials. Nigeria is a basket case in that regard. And until we get our security right, our system of government right, because right now we don't have it right. And I feel it's a very simple solution. I feel there needs to be, if not state police, there needs to be regional police, because without security, I am not going to invest in Nigeria. And God knows I want to. I really do. But without state police, I'm not going to invest in then some guy who's becomes president tomorrow, who's from some part of the country who doesn't believe in capitalism or wealth creation, but his ideology is more ethnic or religious, I'm not going to have my life savings go down the drain. And what I would need to prevent that from happening, and I hope someone has communicated this, because it's very, very, for me, it's very basic for anyone who's seriously thinking about investing in Nigeria. It's kind of alarming that the powers that be don't know this yet.
But let me ask you something real quick. I know we're getting off. I just want to ask you something.
Go ahead.
How come they have thousands and thousands of Chinese, Indians, Arabs, Europeans investing in Nigeria, but you don't want to? I don't get that.
I was going to ask that same question, Delaware, because
that's great. That's great, because yes, my response is going to be very honest. I have the trauma of living in Nigeria. They don't. Okay, I have the trauma of taking it personal if my investment fails. They don't. Their feeling is, oh, it didn't work, I'm out of here. Boom, goodbye. That would be.
Where do you live now?
That would be plenty traumatic for me.
Where do you live now?
I think he answered your question. Okay, man. You don't have to press him.
Bro, was I fucking talking to you?
I'm
talking to you though.
Hold on, one mic. Miriam said, "Can we get the answer without arguing?" We argue.
Right.
Are you done?
Right.
Jakun, you are an idiot, bro. Idiot.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for your comment. It's wonderful for you to say that.
Anyway,
come on. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm pretty much done. So yeah, I want to invest, but I know what needs to be in place for me personally to feel comfortable. It might be wishful thinking, but security gets in, and I know it's not controlled by some central person who may have a completely different ideology than myself.
800 million people, Indians live in they're not going home. They are home.
Oh,
800 million Indians live in Nigeria.
I agree.
800,000. 800,000. Sorry.
My God.
800,000.
Dennis, can I come in now? Can I come in quickly?
We gotta close out. Everyone.
I hear you, man. But you told me earlier, man.
I gotta close out.
Close out. Get out of here, Jakku. Get off the channel.
What are you talking about? Why you
get out of here, Jakku? Get off. He's closing out.
Hey, everyone, thanks so much for joining.
You gotta take care of Mansa.
Yeah, all right. You foolish person.